Hi everyone, it's Shell from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. Today's day 13 in the 2022 Countdown to Christmas series, and it's a collab with my friend Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations. Our challenge for this card was to use the same stamp set to make different cards. So I'm going to be making a mini slimline card. The card base measures 6 by 7 and I scored it at 3.5 inches on the 7-inch side. And we're going to be using this stamp set from Lawn Fawn called Say What Holiday Critters, as well as a Simon Says stamp Ho 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 stencil and some distress oxides. So as we go through the card, I'll talk a little bit about the hop, the giveaway, and the card. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I took a piece of white cardstock, so it measures 1/4 inch smaller than the card front. So it will measure 3 1/4 by 4 3/4 inches. And I taped it down so that we could, so that I didn't get any ink on the side of the card. I'm using shaded lilac and going over the Ho Ho Ho. So we decided to do non-traditional colors for this. So I'm going to be using purples, blues, and a little bit of pink. I got the idea for this card from cards that I've done in the past. I've done white pigment ink stenciled and then moved it over slightly and did a color over top of it. But I thought, why not do a lighter color as a shadow and then a darker color over top of it that's not white? So I used shaded lilac, and eventually I'm going to use Villainous Potion over top of it. But I wanted to give the ink a little bit of time to dry. Oh, I'm stamping out the 3 images from this stamp set, this cute reindeer, the penguin, and the cat. I stamped them onto some 110-pound cardstock. I'm going to let that dry for a little bit because we are going to be using Copic markers to color them in. I'm going back to the stenciled piece now that the ink has dried a little bit, and we're going to move it down and over to the right slightly so you can see where the white is, and that will be the darker color. So we're going to go over everything, and it's going to create a little shadow behind these letters. So it actually turns out really cool. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but I'm really happy with the way that it looks. I'm going to use Villainous Potion to go over the stencil. And while I'm doing that, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the collab. So this is for the Countdown to Christmas series. These videos both will count towards entries for the giveaway. If you are subscribed to both of us and you comment on both, you will get an additional entry in the giveaway. As far as the giveaway goes, I do have a couple of prizes, so I'm really excited. I've started writing down everyone's name who's commented so far. If you have not seen the intro video for this, I will leave it linked below, as well as the link to Marie's video, so you can go over and check that out. I can't wait to see what she's made. We have not told each other or showed each other what we have made. We just know that we're using non-traditional colors as well as the same stamp set. So I'm really excited to see what she has made. Make sure you head over to her channel, watch her video, check out her other videos if you haven't seen any of them. She has great ideas on shaker cards. She's done a lot of shaker cards. She has some card projects over there too, and one of my favorite ones is the little treat holders that she's made, and I think she's made a couple videos on that. So she's got some non-card related projects too, so make sure you check out her channel. Also, the link to the intro video will be in the description box, as well as her link, and you want to head over to make sure you check that out to get all of the rules for the giveaways, because there are some good prizes. Okay, back to the card now. I am using a couple of colors of Copic markers that kind of match the background. I tried to match the shaded lilac as well as the Villainous Potion the best that I could. And at first I was just going to do the purples and then that blue that I put in there for the hat and then the snowflake. But then I decided I needed a third color. I was watching Kelly Taylor's video the other day, and it kind of made me think. She was talking about the gallon quart pint theory, which is you're supposed to have a gallon of one color, a quart of another color, and a pint of another color. So the gallon color for this card would be the purple, the pint would be the blue because it's the card base, and then just a couple of the accents. And then the quart would be the pink. So I kind of wanted to go with that theory. I do go back and add a little bit more pink in a little bit, but for right now, I just wanted to add a couple of accents because I really didn't want the cat's bell and the collar to be purple. And then I wasn't really crazy about it being blue either. I couldn't figure it out. So I was like, oh, let's just bring some pink in. So you'll see that I'm using some warm grays, and I don't like the way that looks against the brown that I chose. So I'm actually going to go ahead and color it in with a couple of different markers. It wasn't really the look that I was going for, but it turned out to be okay in the end. I just layered a couple of different colors on top of each other, and it was a little bit darker than what I had originally anticipated, but it's fine. It was a little bit difficult to see the eyes, so I'm actually going to bring in a pen and do something with them in a minute, and I'll add lashes to everybody's. But I did go in with a little bit of that, I think it's E93, and put a little bit of rosy cheeks in there. I love doing that to the characters. I think it gives them a little extra something when you put some rosy cheeks on them. So I am going to finish coloring in the reindeer, and then I start on the penguin, and then I'm going to color the cat in. For the penguin, I chose some cool grays as well as I think I used neutral grays. I don't have high numbers in the cool gray. I think my cool gray stops at 5. So I did go back in and add a little bit of neutral gray in there to just make it a little bit darker. I don't like to use the 100, which is the pure black color, when I'm coloring in the images because you don't get a lot of depth that way. So I just went ahead and did some of the cool and neutral together. You can mix and match those. I don't like mixing the warm with any of those because I don't think it goes as well. It has a little bit more of a brown undertone to them rather than the cool and the neutral kind of have a more, I'm not even sure what, I'm really bad with that. I know that there's certain people that can pick out like the undertones of the colors. I'm terrible at that, which is probably why I have a difficult time putting color combinations together. So when you see me color things in, you probably see me use the same color combinations because I usually know that they work. So now I'm taking a brush pen and just going over the eyes on the reindeer because it got a little bit lost with the dark colors, and adding lashes to all of the characters. And once that's done, I'm going to go in with my white gel pen. I'm going to add dots to all of their faces, those 3 little dots that I like to do on their cheeks. And then I'm going to add some dots to the deer because I thought it just needed a little bit of something to it. I thought that it was too dark and needed a little bit something to break it up. So I put a little bit of texture in there. And then I also went in and added the pink to the ears. And I believe that was R23. RV23 maybe. Oh, I am going to cut these out off screen. I fussy cut them out, which was a pain. Then I went around the edges with a brush, that brush marker, to just make sure that the white core of the paper was covered up because I didn't cut them out perfectly. And then I rounded the corners with my We Are Memory Keepers corner trumper. I rounded the top left edge as well as the bottom right. And I'm now going to go around the edges and add a little bit of picked raspberry distress oxide to them. I wanted to add just a teeny tiny bit, again, to add a little bit more of that, what we would call the pint of pink around the edges. I think it broke it up a little bit. It didn't look so stark against the blue card base. I'm not so sure that I like it all together. I think that I probably should have done some type of maybe tone-on-tone stenciling in the background of it. I think the blue cardstock looks a little bit too plain. So if I had to do this card over again, I think I would possibly do either a watermarked maybe snowflake pattern behind it or something just to give it a little bit of something different, or maybe come in a little bit more with the pink around the edges. Let me know, what would you have done a little bit differently? Because I think it just still needs, even though I added a little bit of sparkle at the end, I still think the card, when it's all said and done, it might need a little something. So let me know what you guys think. I'm trying to find the placement for all of the characters. Originally, I thought they were going to stand on the letters, but then I decided I think they would be really cute in the center of the O's in the word ho. So I'm going to be taking my Honeybee Bee Creative Glue and adding glue to the back of all the characters and then placing them down. I'm trying not to wiggle them around because the glue will activate, any kind of moisture will activate the Distress Oxide color, and I don't want to smudge anything. I think it looks really cute. I really like the way this turned out, and I can't believe that in all the time that I've been doing this technique with just white pigment ink, I never thought to do it in a lighter color in the back. Like a lighter color is the shadow. So I don't know what made me think of it, but I was really excited to see the results of it. So now I'm taking 2 of these sentiments from the stamp set and I'm going to ink them up, one in the Villainous Potion and the other one in the Shaded Lilac, and just stamp them down onto a piece of scrap cardstock. It was actually what was left over from when I cut down the white piece that we stenciled on earlier. I'm going to use my Fiskars paper trimmer to go ahead and trim that down. I believe the first one is 2.5 inches and then this one is, I think, 2 3/4. I cut it down to almost 3 inches, and then I think I cut it down a little bit more than that. So I think it was a little bit more than, maybe it was like 2 3/4. I'm also going to go around the edges with the picked raspberry on this. I should have waited for the ink to dry, but I'm impatient. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know I'm impatient. And this one didn't smudge, but the other one definitely did. The Villainous Potion definitely smudged. It's okay. I went back in with my white gel pen and kind of was able to fix it. So you're not really going to know. Other than me telling you, you probably really can't see all of the smudges in the final product. Oh, I'm just placing it down to where I think I want it to go, just making sure it looks right, making sure it doesn't need any more of the Distress Oxide. And you can see there, I realized that I'm smudging the letters and I'm trying to do my best to not go ahead and do that. But it happens. Smudges happen. And then I tried to use the side of my brush and that really didn't work either. It was a very big brush. I probably should have gotten a smaller one out. But now I'm going to take some leftover phone paste. This is all scraps from some cards that I've done before, and they fit perfectly behind the 2 sentiment strips. I did cut this down. This was cut in half from another project, so it's half the thickness that it normally would be on the roll. And just taking the backing off and popping those into place. I'm just going to finish off the rest of the card with a couple more things. I went back in with a white gel pen and went over some of the smudged areas so that it would cover it up and it doesn't look as smudgy in the end. And then I'm going to take my Sparkle Glaze pen from Lawn Fawn and add some sparkle to the penguin's hat. I will go back and add some sparkle to the snowflake on the shirt. I went in and added it to the cat's collar as well as to the reindeer sweater that it was wearing. Oh, just wanted to add a little bit of sparkle to each and every single one of the characters because you guys know that I can't go without adding at least a little bit of glitter to the card. That's it for this card. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please make sure you go over and check out Marie's card. Check out her channel, subscribe to her, leave comments, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video. Bye!